If you are aching to be in a relationship, if you're aching to get married, if you are aching to settle down, whatever you want to call it, then this perhaps is the video for you to watch. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's so good to be back. If you are watching for the first time, welcome. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. And if this is not your first time, then welcome back. And please share the video if it helps you. So today we're talking about singleness. We are talking about this because I have been feeling some type of way. I personally Okay, so we're talking about singleness today. I personally have been feeling some type of way for some time now, and so I thought I would share certain things or certain facts that have helped me go through the season of my life a little bit more relatively easily. And so to begin with, the first thing is that if you are aching to be in a relationship, if you're aching to get married, if you are aching to settle down, whatever you want to call it, then this perhaps is the video for you to watch. So if you are Christian, my assumption is you are Christian, but if you're not Christian, my belief or my hope is that you know that nothing in this world can satisfy you. Nothing in this world created by man can satisfy you. The only thing that can satisfy your heart, the only thing that can satisfy your deepest desires and your deepest aches is God. Because God has wired you to be like that. It's not like you're strange and weird and something is wrong with you, but that's just the way you've been created. You have been created to ache for community because God himself wants that. If you've been feeling extremely restless about not being in a relationship if you're not dating, or if you've been feeling really restless about not getting married if you're dating someone, then perhaps all that it is right now is God trying to tell you that, you know what, I want you to focus on me right now. And that's so because if God cannot satisfy you on his own, if God alone cannot satisfy you now, as an unmarried person or as a completely single person, then nothing in this world will ever be able to satisfy you. You will get that spouse and you will find yourself aching again to be in a deeper relationship, in a deeper union with someone, because your spouse or your boyfriend is not going to fulfill you. The only thing that can fulfill you is God. And so God has to be enough for you, and you need to get to a point where you realize and accept that only God can fulfill the desires of your heart. So number one, if you are not enjoying a relationship with God, which is a deep relationship with God, you are going to feel the ache to be in a relationship more vividly, more than a person who's trying to be very intentional in pursuing God and having a relationship with God. Because, you know, if our hearts, I think it's St. Augustine who said, our hearts are restless until they rest in God, because God has created our hearts for himself. Number two, I know I've watched a lot of stuff, and I've listened to quite a couple of podcasts that mention that you should get busy, and that's very true. But I just want to remind you that don't get busy in a bid to distract yourself from actually learning what God is trying to teach you in this season. Because believe you me, when God realizes, or when God wants you to be in a relationship, trust me, you won't even want to be in a relationship more than God wants you to be in a relationship or to be married, because that's the whole point. The whole point of getting married is it's a vocation. It's a vocation because it's meant to lead us to heaven. And so if God sees that at this point in your life, the only thing or the best thing that will lead you closer to him is to be single, then you will be single. And so trying to escape that by being so busy and working on yourself so much that you distract yourself from learning the lessons that God wants to teach you now as you wait for your boyfriend, your wife, your girlfriend, or your husband, whatever it is you're waiting for, you won't learn what you need to learn. Number three, ask God to show you what needs to be worked on inside you. I know we normally pray for the other person and we ask God to help us be the people that our spouses want. But if you're not married now, perhaps envision what your spouse would want. I mean, if you think you attract a certain caliber of the opposite sex and you want to settle down with a particular type of person, then try to imagine what the other person actually would want in a wife or in a husband, and try to see if by any chance you are anything next to that. The moment you realize you're not, then perhaps it is time to start working on those very things that need to be worked on. I feel that most of the times we overlook the fact that there's stuff that needs to be dealt with in us. This is in no way to say that you get married only when you mature. No, because it's a vocation. I know a lot of people who got married when they were not anywhere close to being ready to get married. So it's not about being mature or about being ready. It's just, what can you do in the meantime as you wait, if God has married in his plans for you. Number 4, get to know yourself. Number 4, get to know yourself. You need to know yourself. Date yourself. I was talking to a particular friend of mine just a few days ago, and he asked me where I was going, because I told him I was going on a date with myself, and he thought, what? And then for a moment he just kept quiet, and then the next thing he said was, oh, that's actually very good. Because you need to know yourself. You cannot know what you're looking for if you don't even know who you are as a person. If you don't know what you like as a person, how on earth are you going to know what the other person should do? If you don't know yourself as a person, if you don't know yourself as a person, how on earth is the other person supposed to know you? Because you have no self-awareness. It makes no sense. So get to know yourself, date yourself, take yourself out, see what you like doing, find out what interests you, what intrigues you, what puts you off, what you just don't like doing, what you have flat out no interest in. For me, one of those things is, I've known this since I was a child, but I've grown to know that even more now as an adult, as a young adult. As an adult. So, one of those things to me is soil. I don't like soil, meaning I don't like the garden, I don't like rose bushes, I don't like anything to do with soil. I just don't like the soil. And for another person, it might be that they don't like traveling. I know a friend of mine does not like traveling at all. So if her boyfriend were to plan something and she doesn't like traveling, he might do it from a very loving point, and she might not take it as, with as much enthusiasm as you would expect, because she just doesn't like traveling. So get to know yourself. Know what you like, know what you don't like. Try new things, try new food, try new things. Just develop new interests. Just do something with yourself. Don't just sit at home and pray and say, I'm waiting. Number 5, put yourself out there. A priest said to me, I'm just giving advice that was given to me by a priest because I feel we could all use it. This is in no way what I'm doing right now. I am not making this video to put myself out there, to market myself. No, I'm making this video to share. But that said, you need to actually do stuff. You can't just sit at home the whole time and just pray, God, bring me my spouse. How is God meant to give you that spouse if you're not doing anything? I was also listening to Fire Up podcast, which I will link in the description box. And they said, both of them said, they're married now. Both of them said that they met during, doing ministry work. And so that's just to say, and they both agreed that, you need to be doing something. You need to be doing what you love. You never know. You never know who you might meet as you do what you love. So develop interest, do something, get out there, do something. Don't just sit at home and say, I'm praying for my spouse. My spouse is going to go, Guys, I just want to say, you need to do something to, have fun with your life. It's not a sad season, to be honest. I feel like it's not an extremely exciting season as we make it seem like in certain Christian circles. I feel like at times we hyper romanticize being single, like, oh, it's the best thing ever, and yet we actually overlook the very fact that at times it gets really irritating, it gets really painful, and at times it's not as rosy as we make it out to be. And so yeah, but at the end of the day, to be honest, it's a beautiful season which you need to embrace and do all you can to get closer to God, because this is the time you need to grow your relationship with God. It's so much harder to grow your relationship with God if you are you know, if you finish work at 5 p.m. and then you go on a date at 6 p.m. and you get home at 8:30 p.m. and that means you probably want to sleep at 10 p.m. so you're going to start prayer time maybe 9, and then everything's just rushed. You spend less time in prayer. But when you're a single person, you have more time to pray. You've got more time to yourself, so you have more time to pray, meaning you can grow your relationship with God. Single phase. When you are unmarried, that is the best time to grow your relationship with God, because you will need that relationship with God once you get married, because you know we're human beings, and so we all have flaws. Imagine bringing person A with 35 flaws and bringing person B with 65 flaws together, and then they have to stay together and build a life together. It's just so hard, and that can only work if there's one common ground, solid ground between, and that person, that solid foundation can only be God. And so if both of you don't have a solid relationship with God, it becomes a problem. So yeah guys, just a couple of tips to just deal with this whole singleness. If you're feeling so overwhelmed and you're just tired of waiting, and don't feel sorry for yourself. The biggest temptation for single people is to feel sorry for yourself. Do not feel sorry for yourself. There is nothing wrong with you, presumably. If it isn't God's plans for you to get married, best believe it will happen. You don't even need to push for it. Thirdly, I mean, God knows what he's doing. God knows what he's doing. He's not stupid. So there's really no need for you to question God. God, is everything okay with me? Am I crazy? Am I sick? No. Calm down. Okay, just calm down. Pray and let God do his thing. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and share the video with someone. Share the video with a friend or two who might benefit from this if you're in a season of waiting, or they just don't know what to do next and stuff like that, and they're just struggling. So yeah guys, don't forget to subscribe. Bye.